Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell from the title of this video, I am going to be talking about the books that I want to unhaul. They're actually ones that have already been removed off my bookshelves so I could stick on books that I actually like, and these are books that I want to sell at some point this year. Some of them I've been trying to sell for about a year, but no one's buying them on Facebook. So yeah, some of these books I have read, some of these books I DNF'd. There is a large number of books that I want to unhaul from my collection. I will be doing another video later on of me unhauling more books because I'm sitting here staring at my shelves being like, yep, I want to unhaul that book. So if you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, but I'm just going to jump straight into it because there are a large number of books that I do want to get rid of. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video, but let's just get straight into it because there are a lot of books for me to talk about. The first book that I am unhauling is Santa Sweetheart by Janet Daly. I tried reading this, not the Christmas just gone, but the Christmas prior. I don't even know whether I made it to the 100-page mark. I just didn't care. I didn't find it interesting. Pretty sure it's a single father in a small town, and then the female love interest is like his kid's teacher, and she's trying to set him up with her teacher, and they're both trying to resist it, and I just didn't find it interesting. I found it really difficult to read, and at Christmas time I want nice easy books to read, and this just wasn't it. So as such, I am unhauling it. I DNF'd this one. I gave up. I tried, couldn't deal with it, but this one's going. But the next book is The Christmas Pact by V. Keeland and Penelope Ward. This is incredibly thin, and I just remember hating it. There's two people that share a similar name. So one's called Riley Kennedy and the other one's called Kennedy Riley, and they work for the same company, and they keep getting each other's emails and they just don't really get along, and they make some pact at Christmas, and it was just so cheesy. It was lame. I did not enjoy the writing at all. It was really just infuriating. I finished it because it was so thin. It was just another really, like the previous book, not a great book that I was reading at Christmas time, and as such I want to get rid of it because I didn't like it and I didn't enjoy it, and I do not recommend it. And then the other Christmas book I have on this list is All I Want for Christmas by Wendy Logia. This was a really weird Christmas book. That's all I remember. I'm pretty sure something died. There were like Christmas miracles and Christmas wishes, and it was just, in my opinion, not well done. I didn't like the characters, found them irritating and infuriating, and I just didn't like it. I don't even know if I finished it. I may have skim read it. I'm getting rid of it, basically. Didn't like it. And then we have The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. I do not understand how this is a popular book on TikTok or anywhere. Yeah, so he is a famous footballer. He's currently still playing, and then she is a dancer who went out on an injury and is now a dance teacher. They're best friends. They have to pretend to fake date, but they've both been secretly in love with one another for pretty much their entire friendship, and then it's just them pretending to fake date and then actually fall in love with one another. I found this really irritating. I thought it was such a cute premise, and when I started reading it, it was just not what I was hoping it to be. Didn't like the writing style. I don't understand what people liked about it on TikTok. There's much better books done with that trope. And then we have The Roommate by Rosie Danan. I don't think I actually finished this book. I think I DNF'd it last year. I know that it was on my list of books I wanted to read last year, and I started it. Don't even know if I got halfway through it, and I had to put it down because I legitimately hated it. So it's about this guy and girl, and she moves to the town that her best friend is living at. He's like, yeah, you can move in with me. It's all good. Unbeknownst to her, he's actually going away traveling somewhere. She's secretly in love with him, is devastated, and ends up having to share his apartment with this other guy that he's rented his room out to whilst he's away traveling. She's a bit of an uptight princess from what I can remember, and he's basically a famous porn star, and it was not good. It was just so tacky, and I did not enjoy it. I also don't understand why people love it either, but yeah, that's The Roommate. So we have unhauled 5 books so far. So book 6 is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I think I read a couple chapters and then DNF'd it. Christina Lauren is an author that I struggle to enjoy their books. So I picked this one up thinking it would be okay because one of them's got a twin sister and she replaces her, and they pretend to be the couple going on the honeymoon, and then they probably fall in love. But honestly, I couldn't get that far to give a shit because I didn't care about any of the main characters, and as such, I DNF'd it, and now I'm unhauling it. Okay, now don't judge me, but that is the receipt for this book. Now, it is This Girl by Colleen Hoover. This is the 3rd book in the Slammed trilogy. There is a reason why this one is being unhauled. I haven't actually read this book nor this trilogy. So it is not being on hold because I don't like it. It's being on hold because I picked it up and then couldn't find the matching covers for the first 2 books in the series, and to buy them online was going to be like $30 a book, and I didn't really love that. And then a couple months later I saw that they had actually released Planned, Point of Retreat, and then obviously This Girl. They'd released them in the new covers that matched, so I just bought all 3 of them. I intended to return this one, and then I found the receipt and realized how long it had been and went, yeah, probably can't return that. I wanted them to match the other books in the series, so that's why this one's being on hold. Okay, and then the next book is Weather Girl by Rachel Lynn Solomons. Now, I'm actually unhauling another book by this author as well, which is The Ex-Talk. So I'll talk about both of them. So I actually read The Ex-Talk, which I was really excited about because these 2 people that don't like one another pretend that they have dated and broken up, and then their exes hosting a podcast, and they basically make up this whole backstory about them dating, breaking up, and then they give, like, I think love advice or breakup advice to people, and they get heaps of followers, have to pretend that they're exes and they hate one another when actual fact they're falling in love with one another. And such a good premise. I realized after trying to read The Weather Girl, I just don't like this author's writing style. I don't enjoy it, and that is the main reason why I didn't like these 2 books basically. But with Weather Girl, I did start it and I DNF'd it because I just wasn't enjoying it. I pretty much forced myself to pick it up. Didn't enjoy it. Didn't like the main characters. It's basically this girl that's obsessed with the weather. That's all I remember. I think she wants to be like the weather chick. I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't enjoying it. I had to DNF it, and as such, they're both being on hold. The next book is Fallen by Lauren Kate. So this is about this girl Luce, and she goes to this like boarding school for like difficult kids, and it turns out that half of the students there are all actual fallen angels from like the Bible and the biblical story. A couple years ago, I actually went and bought them in hardcover and then made the decision to get rid of the paperback. So it's the only reason this one's being on hold is because I have hardcovers and they are bloody gorgeous. And then the next book is The Charm Offensive by Alison Cochrane? I don't know. I apologize if I said that wrong. I probably did. So this is like a bachelor style book, which I thought sounded amazing. Guy goes onto the show. The view of him isn't like great. He's a very shy, awkward person, so the public perception of him isn't actually how he is. And then there's this guy who is just like a producer or like an assistant on the show, and his role is basically to look after him, make sure he gets where he needs to be and everything runs smoothly. And basically these 2 end up falling in love with one another. I wanted to love this book so badly and I just didn't. I think it was the writing style. I don't think I really loved the main characters either. I don't really remember what I didn't enjoy about it, but I just know I didn't enjoy it. It was a no from me. No rose. The next book is Like a Love Song by Gabriella Martins. Gonna be honest, the main appeal for this book was the fact that it was a Selena Gomez song title. It's a fake dating trope. She's like a singer and they decide that, you know, I think she has a very public breakup or something like that. She's got to like fake date this other guy to boost both of their ratings, and started this book and was really disappointed to learn that I was reading about like a 16-year-old or something. The book very much reads from the perspective of like a young, naive, young person, and I just wasn't enjoying it, so I DNF'd it quite quickly. Alrighty, so the next book I have is It Sounded Better in My Head by Nina Kenwood. The young adult contemporary book. I just didn't like it. The main character, I'm pretty sure from memory, made a lot of dumb decisions that I just didn't like. Didn't really enjoy the writing style, didn't like the main character at all. I don't really remember what happened in it other than I didn't enjoy it, and it literally was like a very easy pull off unhaul book for me. And then we have Love Lettering by Kate Claiborne. But basically she does calligraphy. That is her job, and she does it all over town. She's designing invitations for this couple who are engaged, and I think it's their wedding invitations. As she's like designing it, like she puts something into the design of it, but it like freaks out the groom that much that pretty sure him and the fiance break up, and then the 2 of them hang out, fall in love. Once again, didn't like the main characters, didn't like the writing style. I don't really remember what happened in it, so it has not left a great impression in my memory. I'm getting rid of it. I am unhauling The Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo. The first book, Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I really disliked the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I've already unhauled it. I found the Six of Crows duology better, but I still didn't like it. I don't understand why people like these books that don't like like the writing style. I didn't really care for the characters. I had to force myself to read them and pretend like they were good. I don't feel like I need to explain what they're about because they're so hugely popular. There's also the Netflix TV show. I think I watched the first episode and went, nah, still don't like this, and I just couldn't do it. So these two are being unhauled. The next book I have is Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. This book was weird. That is what I remember like thinking when I was reading it, was this is a really weird book, and it just stayed weird. That's all I remember. They're misunderstood people that fall in love, I feel like, is all that happens, but I just didn't enjoy it very much. Now I want to get rid of it because it was just really a nothing book for me. Next book I have is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I purchased this book when it was first released, however many bloody years ago. Read it, it fucked with my head. It's the reason I stopped reading Colleen Hoover from 2016 until 2022. The reason why I am unhauling it is because it is massive. For some reason, when they released this book, they made it a lot bigger than all of her other books. Last year when I went and purchased her books, they all were in a smaller sized format, and this one was just huge, and it was a lot bigger than all of her books. Like, right? It's not even like close to the right height. I ended up buying it in the smaller size so that it matches. A fantasy novel I am unhauling is The Hall by Peter O'Gillen. It was just weird. That's what I remember. Basically, it's like in this modern society, the kids are gonna get this call and they go to like this other, like almost fantasy land, and they have to like survive the next 24 hours or something. I don't know, is it 24 hours or is it 3 minutes? But like the 3 minutes is not 3 minutes in this other land. It's like 24 hours. It's this quite long time. Just didn't enjoy the way it was written. Don't know why I held onto it for as long as I have. I'm not gonna reread it, so let's just, you know, send it to somebody else to take a look at. But I really love how reflective the cover is. It's cool. But the next book is Jump by Sean Williams. I don't even know if I've read this book, in all honesty. I don't remember what it is about at all. But yeah, I think they can change their appearance, I think. So that's why I'm unhauling it, because I don't remember anything about this book, and I figure if I liked it, I would remember something about it. So we're getting rid of it. This might also be another unpopular choice, but it's Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I know this is a hugely popular book, and I don't know why. So basically it's about the son of, President of the United States. And then I think we've also got, Prince from like the UK or something like that. They're both getting into a bit of trouble. And this one, he's just, I think, a very unlikable royal. The two of them have had some conflicts in the past. The British and the Americans decide, we're gonna make them become best friends, and they end up falling in love. I didn't enjoy it. I did not find the main characters likable whatsoever. Genuinely don't understand what they saw in one another and how they were able to fall in love with each other. Didn't like it. Don't understand the hype. This next book is one I should have unhauled bloody years ago, but that is Grey by E.L. James. E.L. James is the author that wrote 50 Shades of Grey. We should all know what that is. And then she decided to write the 50 Grey Shades series Perspective from Christian Grey. I have read the 50 Shades of Grey books. I picked up this book because I genuinely don't know why. Because let's be real, the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy was absolute trash. It was not good at all. The Inner Goddess still makes me cringe. I hate it. So I don't know why I picked this book up, probably out of intrigue to see if it was as bad as 50 Shades of Grey. I will say this, from what I remember, Christian is a much more interesting character to read from the perspective from. Still didn't care, still didn't like it, still don't think it's great. So yeah, it's not that good. All right, so this next book I'm hauling was a bit of a disappointment for me, and it was The Christmas Bookshop by Jenny Colgan. So it was basically a Christmas story about someone that works in a bookstore. I love Christmas. I love bookstores. Figured be a great novel for me to read. No, it wasn't. This girl goes to help a struggling bookstore to boost their sales, and the owner's like this, I think, eccentric old man, and so she tries to like do up the store so that people want to come in and buy books. Found it to be such a dull read. I think it had to be the writing style. I just didn't enjoy it, and I really struggled to read through this one, and I genuinely can't remember if I made it to the end or not. It was really disappointing that I didn't like this one because I was fully expecting to enjoy it. That's why this one's going. And then we have Star-Crossed by Minnie Drake. I don't remember what this one's about. It has to do with astrology signs and all that jazz, I'm pretty sure. The main character, she bumps into her like lifelong best friend from a kid. I think that she's always had a bit of a crush on, and she thinks it's fate. That is all I really kind of remember. I know that I didn't like her as a character at all, found her very irritating, and it was just a little childish, and I just didn't enjoy it, and that's why this one is being unhauled. But the next one is The Chocolate Promise by Josephine Moon. I read this book bloody years ago. I'm pretty sure I just bought it because I liked the fact that there were chocolates on the cover. I think a lot of my issues with this book was I was like 21 to 23 when I read this book, and it is about, I didn't realize it at the time, but it's about characters who, pretty sure in their early to late 30s. I couldn't relate to the main characters. They were just like talking about things I just couldn't relate to because they were at a part of their life that I just have never experienced. I wasn't there yet as someone in her early 20s, didn't really care about the things that 30-year-olds were worried about. I am unhauling another Colleen Hoover book, and that is Verity. Now, this is the special collector's edition that has the bonus chapter. So I do have Verity up there on my shelf in the paperback. I really enjoyed Verity. I thought it was a great thriller. That ending, I like Googled stuff to work out, like, I don't want to spoil anything, but like, do you believe the manuscript or do you believe like the hidden letter? I purchased this just to read the bonus chapter at the end of this book, which I hated. I do not think it added anything worthwhile to this story. It left me more confused. I'm just really concerned that there's this one character that is just so quick to murder people. Didn't really add anything to the story, I felt, at all. Like, I think the ending where she had it was much better, and what we got on this one just left me confused and uncomfortable, and it was just unnecessary. I am unhauling the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy. These books were purchased because I loved the cover. The first book is Guild, then we have Glint, and then the third book is Gleam. Basically, this is a Midas inspired story and retelling. It's a fantasy world. There's a lot of trigger warnings in these books, and honestly, I just found them disturbing. I didn't find the main characters great at all. Like, the first book, she's obsessed with him and completely in love with him and just basically lets him treat her like shit. Like, it literally starts with an orgy, I'm pretty sure, and he makes her watch it. I just don't think it was written well. I think that's my issue. Like, I just didn't enjoy these, and like, the first one was horrendous. I hated it. The second one started to get slightly interesting. The third one was the most interesting because there's like a new love interest and she's coming into her own. Literally was keeping them because I thought the covers were pretty, but I don't want them on my shelves, and I just have to get rid of them. And then the last series is the Bloodline series by Rochelle Mead. So this is the spin-off series of the Vampire Academy. So the first book is Bloodlines. I don't even know if these are in order, so I apologize if they're not. The Golden Lily, The Indigo Spell, Fiery Heart, Silver Shadows, and then the last book, which is The Ruby Circle. I'm just gonna pick up a couple of the books because I'm not holding all of them because they're heavy. So yeah, like I said, they are the spin-off series of the Vampire Academy, which I really enjoyed. I loved the Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead, but these books focus on one of the characters, Sydney, and then I think, is it Adrian? Yes, Adrian. I wasn't a huge fan of Sydney from the Vampire Academy books anyway, so I committed to reading 6 books, but I didn't really like the first one. It's absurd. I don't like Sydney as a character. I just find her a cranky little shit, is the phrase that comes to mind. I wasn't a huge fan of Adrian. Their romance I just wasn't interested in. The storyline wasn't that interested in, and I don't know why I continued to pick them up, and I don't know why I've kept them on my shelf for as long as I have, but I'm actually going to bite the bullet and actually sell them because I don't know if you could tell, but that's a shit ton of space to take up on my bookshelf for books I don't even like. Yeah, I just didn't like them, so that's it really. They're gonna go. I'm gonna put them here. Yep, they fell. That's okay. So they are the 35 books that I have currently pulled off my shelves to unhaul and sell. And let me know down below if you enjoyed all of these books. I'm just expecting a lot of people to be like they like the Six of Crows duology and the Red, White and Royal Blue books, and I don't know what other like books I'm unhauling that you really liked. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like if you did. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.